if this conversation is leaked, I'm cooked.
No one really hates themselves. You just have a really toxic relationship with yourself.
You're alone and you're like, I'm so fine. Like, I don't need anyone. And I think the world repels desperation. And I said this, and that desperation becomes a repellent when you start loving yourself.
A lot of us bleed on the people that never cut us. You know, and that's what's happening. That's exactly what you say. You get
this. I should have done this more.
Yeah.
I should have pursued this. I should have done all the things that I have failed to do. I emphasize and I glorify.
Yeah.
But then the good things I've done, the ability to realize I'm in the wrong. Yeah. That's a skill in this day and age, bro.
What compelled you to post that? And the people that gave you backlash about posting that, what do you think they failed to understand about your message? Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Just to Kick It is a Blessing podcast. Welcome to the podcast where it's all about time, where we teach, inspire, motivate, and entertain through the art of storytelling. Today, I have a special guest in studio with me. So without further ado, I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm happy that you still call me special guest after so many episodes.
No, you're a special guest.
Thank you, bro. It's always a nice privilege to come and chat on the Just Kick is a Blessing pod, you know. It's been a minute since I've been here.
Yeah.
Feels like home though.
Yeah,
I'm happy, man. So to introduce myself, my name is Muindi, aka Muli JR, and I do a lot of things online, and in the hopes of spreading love, spreading purpose, spreading the importance of finding yourself and trusting in a divine plan that God has given for you. You know, that's my message.
And you're not the founder.
And I'm also the founder of Mwotaji. I work in the creative industry with Halo Studio. I have Sight and Spirit as a podcast, as a transformational events series. The awareness shift is also something I've done. Content creator. There's all these things, but anyway, you know me, I don't like giving those titles. If you just know, you know.
You know. Yeah. So even today, before we get into that clip of yours online that, went a bit viral and you received some backlash, I want to ask you today's journal question. This is a new thing we've been doing on the podcast.
Yeah.
Is on the day that this is meant to be published, we ask a question to the guest. So today your question is, how do you handle conflict in your relationships and how can you improve?
Oh, that's a very good question, man.
You know, as you think about it, let me read for you the quote that comes along with the question. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. Mahatma Gandhi.
Gali. Yo, honestly, you know, being in relationships, it's a big mirror, bro. Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing I've learned is especially the way relationships survive is conflict resolution. If you're not able to put yourself out of the problem and the dilemma, and if you're in a relationship, are we talking romantic relationship or
any relationship?
I think you should have a team approach to relationships. So with that, whenever you have a dilemma or conflict, you're looking at the problem as a team rather than you're looking at a problem that's between you two as individuals. So for me, once I started shifting that approach, conflicts became a lot more easier because now someone is not trying to defend themselves. Someone is not trying to prove who they are or defend their character, defend their worth and the narrative that they've created to themselves. They need you to see it, so they'll be defensive. And the moment defensiveness enters into the conversation of a conflict,
nothing can be understood.
Yeah, there's this post I read. There was a Japanese philosophy called the Ma.
Yeah.
Take 3 to 4 minutes with your partner of like silence. So you vow to silence in 3 to 4 minutes. Wow. And the aim of that is not, there's no talking, no phones, no looking at each other even. It's just existing in each other's space so that you guys can sync your heartbeats and the rhythm of each other's breath to each other. So that means after those 3 to 4 minutes, your mind is calm. Because when you're in a conflict state, your mind is reactive, and when you have a reactive mind, when you have a reactive mind, you're gonna attack. You're gonna be on the defense. So taking those 3 to 4 minutes of just silence, I've not done that with my relationships per se, but I intentionally pause, even if it's for like 30 seconds or a minute, to like just decompress myself and not project, because that's another thing. We project our emotions, we project our traumas, we project our fears.
Yeah.
That's a constant thing, man. And it takes an awareness of your problems and you being broken to fully allow a relationship to grow. Because a relationship is never going to be two perfect people meeting. It's two imperfect people coming together to get to know each other, to know how to love each other.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And now that we're speaking about relationships,
Oh boy.
the other day you posted this video, which will show the audience.
Don't show like the full thing.
No, we're going to show the full thing. Yeah. Thank you, Juma. Make sure you show the video.
Okay.
I'm yet to be convinced, but I truly believe a woman must love the man more than he loves the woman. And the man must love his purpose way more than he loves the woman in order for the relationship to work. Because if a man, you end up loving your woman more than she loves you, you're just a simp. And men love hard. If anyone who has truly been in love with a woman, that man would forever do anything for that woman. The man could even die for the woman. But women, they love conditionally. The only person in this world who can love you unconditionally as a man is your mother or your grandmother. Maybe your sister, but even your sister is a bit sus. But someone needs to understand, whoever's listening to me, if you find yourself loving your woman more or completely being emotionally attached to your woman and her emotions, if you're not able to hold your woman's emotions down without letting her emotional storms destroy you, you're in too deep, my brother or my sister. If you find out that your man is giving you so much attention to a point where it's almost too good to be true, then there's a problem. That man is not going to reach his full potential. That man is not going to be the man that you truly want and truly deserve. The man that's truly on a mission must love his mission and his purpose more than he loves his woman. And that doesn't mean he's not going to love his woman. It just simply means the woman is the one who is the emotional pillar of the relationship. Once the man has invested himself into you, his love for you will be seen in how much he works hard for you, how much he wants to provide for you, and how much he's willing to do for you. But most of the times, women don't understand this. So they want a man who is so emotionally available. Sometimes if you're toxic, you want an emotionally unavailable man. And then you complain when he's doing what he needs to do, when he's making sacrifices that are hard, sacrifices that are not pleasant for the sake of himself. So you think as a woman, he doesn't love me. Sometimes at the end of the day, a man doesn't have the energy to fully invest in his purpose and fully invest in you at the same time. And again, men can do this. But the truth of the matter is he going to be the fullness of the man he's supposed to be if he gives you 50% of his attention and energy and love, and 50% of his attention, energy, and love to his purpose? But anyway, this is my perspective. I'm open to hearing what you guys think. But I truly think that a woman needs to love the man more, and the man needs to love his purpose more than he loves his woman. But that doesn't mean he's not loving his woman fully. But I know it's very rare because men are the only ones who can truly love unconditionally without expecting anything from a woman. A woman, you must provide, you must protect, you must be smart, you must be intelligent, you must have money, you must have social status, or socially you're connected. But a man can date down, but a woman always dates up. Again, at the end of the day, this is the hard truth. This is reality for most men. It's very rare to find a woman who understands this and is emotionally intelligent to recognize when she's dealing with a man who is going somewhere and she can fit into the role of a helper without being a burden or without dragging him down. But anyway, I digress.
What compelled you to post that? And the people that gave you backlash about posting that, what do you think they failed to understand about your message?
Yeah, the same thing I've been talking about is people are not able to put themselves out of an emotional reactive state and just respond. Responding takes a lot of emotional maturity, because to hear something that triggers you and be okay to sit with it and listen through it is something this generation does not have the capacity or patience to handle. Social media is filled with Twitter reactors, bro.
Yeah.
When I'll tell you, majority of people do not watch the full video because if they did, they would not comment things that evidently show their ignorance of not watching the full video.
Yeah.
So when I was saying things like women in the comments that of that video did not reason, I was speaking from a place of truth, because I was like, no one actually, because if you notice, the first sentence I said,
Yes.
I'm yet to be convinced.
Yes.
I literally said that.
Yeah.
I'm yet to be convinced. So I wanted people to convince me
Yes.
and come at an angle of show me what I whether if I believe is completely wrong.
Wrong, yes.
Like if you're able to come and hit and reason with me, then I'll appreciate it. You know what I mean? But social media does not have people who think like that. It's this guy said something, absolutely no. You see people just saying no, and they've not even listened to what I'm saying. And at the core of that message was a message to men, and I really wanted men to understand that if you don't find a sense of purpose and being grounded in something, like there's no North Star you have, and it's just a woman you're in love with, the woman will end up despising you, bro. Because then she'll start mothering you, start nurturing you, start manipulating you, start taking advantage of you. And women will say it's the opposite. Yeah, a man should make the opposite is the woman needs to be in more of her purpose than the man in order for the relationship to work. Women were saying it's the opposite. I got even private DM saying, Muli, stop spreading this BS online. Women were triggered, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you took time to actually just think about where I'm coming from, you'd realize the more a man steps into his purpose, the more he feels the desire to provide for you and take care of you.
Yeah.
If a woman is in that sense of deeper purpose and she's completely prioritized her purpose and her man is the second option, she'll end up stepping into a masculine energy.
Yeah.
And that masculine energy repels men.
That's true.
Many women who are successful in their careers are very single. It's a statistic. Because they've had to step into a boss mode that not many men want to have as a woman. But there is the exception of this can actually work if both people understand how to balance purpose and love. It can coexist. Like that's the thing that I'm also aware of. Like two things can exist at the same time. So with someone having a deeper sense of purpose, they can also love their person more, vice versa. Like the woman, if she has her purpose, she will also love her man more. But it's very rare in the case of a woman loving her purpose that she ends up having the same, like she's progressing in her purpose. She's making strides, promotions, careers. Her career is like skyrocketing, and the man is not necessarily the same way. He's not moving as fast. She can end up despising him, or if there's no clear, respectful boundaries, that the man still has a final say in the relationship. And of course, the final say is not like lead me to destruction, but there's a sense of trust that we're going in the same direction, and I have a desire for us as a relationship to go a certain route. If the woman is submitted to that, even if she's making more money than him, then she'll still respect him in the decisions. But if she's making more money than him and she doesn't trust that he can lead himself, she will take full advantage of that relationship.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. What do you think?
No, even one of my mentors keeps on telling me, like, Tupac, women are there to come and complement your purpose. Yes. A lot of people have no purpose, and you're bringing this woman into your life. You're bringing her into a space of confusion. And that's why you can see a lot of relationships are not successful, because what happens when you bring someone into a space where they don't know what to do? All other things come and, take over. So it was like, it's important before, you think of, even getting married or whatever, understand your purpose first. So you're bringing someone to help you build that as you help them build theirs.
And even on the path of understanding your purpose, I'll be honest, when you're paving your path, it does not make sense. Sometimes it won't make sense. Sometimes that path is not clear at all.
Yes.
But if you know that you're on a mission, and you're open to receiving from the directions of even God, mentors, being guided towards that. Because at the end of the day, a purpose is a huge thing.
It is.
And I'm not trying to box purpose into a job.
Yes.
And your purpose can be, the thing that gives you life.
Yeah.
When everything else is taken from you.
In fact, I did a class, or I'm doing a class, it's called Purpose Leadership Forum by Apostle Angie. And they were like, purpose is not a vocation. It's not a job. Yeah. Yes. Purpose is a lot more than that. And purpose is not a job. So it's not what we have. Yes. You could be good. Yes, it's a calling. And what that calling means is you have influence. Purpose always has influence. So if you look that you're doing something and there's no influence in it, whether it's over one person, two people, hundreds, thousands, millions of people, then you should ask yourself, is that a job or a purpose? So
that's deep. That's a very good way of seeing it.
Yeah. So it really stuck to me. So your purpose is not being a doctor or being a pilot. That's the job. The purpose is maybe the influence or the saving of the other people that you serve now. Yeah.
That's deep.
So, we've talked about love. Do you think it's possible for someone to love another person if they don't love themselves?
I'm getting it becomes more clearer as I grow.
Yeah.
It's so hard,
Yeah.
nearly impossible for you to love anyone if you don't love yourself.
Okay.
And this is something I personally have struggled with in my relationships,
Yeah.
you know, because I end up having such a high standard of excellence for myself that I fail to realize that tonality I have with myself is not how I talk to other people.
Yeah.
And that's something I've learned. Like, you know, you have to realize the conversations you have with yourself is how you create your own home, your own inner home, your own environment within yourself.
Yeah.
And most of the times you may have an unsafe environment within yourself.
Yeah.
And that will start leaking out towards other people that you love. And you'll start finding yourself projecting certain insecurities, certain fears. And it can be in the tone of love, but it's coming from an unsafe place.
Yeah.
And that's something that if someone else is emotionally intelligent, they'll realize, okay, hold up, you're projecting right now. And I don't appreciate that, but I see where you're coming from. So for me, I've learned, like, I mean, if the wisest person in the world, King Jesus, said that love yourself, love your neighbor as yourself, it's literally impossible for anyone to love anyone else without having a sense of love for yourself. And what to me I've started deeping is you have to heal enough. This is a quote that came to me.
Yeah.
You have to heal enough to a point where you don't ask unhealed people for direction. Because when you don't give yourself that, that one hit me when I was doing my articulation.
Yeah.
Because if you don't heal enough, people who are unhealed will just completely give you unhealed strategies.
Advice.
And their clarity will be coming from a source of unhealedness. Like, think about women who have been damaged by men, broken by men, and they go to a young lady and they give them advice.
Yeah.
A young lady who's promising, who has so much life and hope for a good relationship.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't marry young.
Yeah.
That's the biggest mistake you make.
Yeah.
Because they've not experienced wholesome love, they'll start projecting their own fear and trauma and mistakes out of love or out of protection or out of guidance and wisdom, but it's destructive.
Yes.
And that's something I've learned because they have not sat with their own pain, processed it, and seen what was this trying to teach me, and how can I love myself more even from my mistakes? Because let's not lie, self-love on Instagram is talk to yourself in the mirror, do your affirmations, do the sage thing. And I don't believe in sage, but clean your environment, all these things. And it's like, that's aesthetic self-love. But real self-love is sitting with yourself when you're a mess, when you actually can't even forgive yourself, but you have to forgive yourself because if you don't, it's going to create a serious wound inside yourself. And all of a sudden is you start shaking people and the wound will start leaking onto other people. You start bleeding on other people.
Yeah. I like the quote that says, a lot of us bleed on the people that never cut us. And that's what's happening. Like exactly what you're saying. You get what you're saying is the lady giving the young lady advice is just a lady bleeding on someone who never cut her.
And the truth is, like, the people who have not experienced self-love, because self-love for me now I'm learning is giving yourself the grace that you deserve. Talking to yourself in the way you would talk to your friends. Because majority of the time I realize I don't talk to myself in a way that I would ever talk to anyone else that I respect and love.
Yeah.
Because I'm rude with myself. I'm harsh with myself. I'm like, bro, I don't even give myself the grace to like break down and cry.
Yes.
How deep can we go on the pod? Because it's like self-love is you're breaking down and you don't have a space to break down in front of anyone. And that's like, because people, let's say someone you love will see you breaking down. Will they love you more or will they disrespect you more? Will they see you as a lesser person? Those are things you can say, people, you need to create an environment. But the more you start loving yourself, the more you attract people who are able to love you and love themselves through you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't expect to have people who will be okay with seeing me cry if I've not created a safe environment or I've not communicated the self-love and self-respect that I have for myself to other people. Because people will only treat you the way you treat yourself. And so it's like, the more you love yourself, the more you attract people who are genuine and who can hold space for you. But that's been the biggest struggle for many. I think anyone listening to me, for men, women, but mainly I'll say men.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing, finding a space where you can be a man in without any form of expectation.
Yeah.
Without you having to be perfect. And that's like I think about the conference we did last year.
Yeah.
That was powerful.
Okay. So I want to ask you,
Yeah.
if there's someone listening to this, because you've said it's something you've struggled with, but you're working on, if there's someone listening to this, how do they start that journey? If there's someone listening like, okay, Tupac, Muli, I have this toxic relationship with myself. First of all, actually, I've just remembered something. Sichangi came on this podcast and he said something so profound, and he was like, no one really hates themselves. You just have a really toxic relationship with yourself. And I was like, that's very deep. I don't know what you think about that, first of all. And then number two is, if there's someone listening to this, how do they start that journey?
I think you start by responding. Yeah. Responding responding is linked to awareness. And if you don't have awareness of any of your problems, you can't solve them. And awareness is the beginning of anything. So you respond. Your response is knowing when you need to slow down, knowing when, people really glorify discipline and grit and perseverance and all these things, and it's good. But then if it's not coming from a place of awareness of, does this help me become a better person, or does this make me lose myself? Because you're waking up 4 a.m. every morning. Is that something that really helps you love yourself more?
Yeah.
Or is that something that breaks you more?
Yeah.
And you don't have the joy of being on that journey of becoming a better person. Again, you can wake up whatever time, but it's about the awareness of what moves you forward that actually works. Because you've seen, 5 a.m. is the best time to wake up. Okay, does it work for you though? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing of responding to what works for you. I've learned this. I can't listen to advice from everyone. You have to take advice from everyone with a pinch of salt, because people's advice sometimes is not tailored for you perfectly. Yes. It can be like, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, but then because I understand myself, I'll see that, okay, this is not practical for me right now. What's practical for me, let me just give an example, is I'm on the journey of running a marathon.
Yeah.
And I have to make sure I run every day, or as much as like 5-6 times a week.
Yes.
Those days where you don't feel like doing it.
Yes.
And something Kipchoge says is, those who are disciplined are the ones who are free.
Yeah.
Because it's directly connected to self-love. Also is equated to accepting. This is a very important thing. Self-love is deeply linked to accepting that you will never become the person that you want to be in an instant. Like, that's the reality of it. It's responding to your hurts, your traumas, your pains, and taking that posture of being, this takes time. It doesn't just take time, but it takes intentional awareness of time.
Yeah.
So you can say, people who believe time heals all wounds, it's a lie. That's actually a lie. How many people do you know, they got divorced when they were young, they're in their 50s, they're still carrying the pain from that divorce. They've not healed. Time has passed, but they've not healed because they've not been intentional with the awareness of everything comes, like, there's a source of everything. So I get this question asked a lot on online, is, Muli, how do you actually deal with depression?
Yeah.
I'm like, depression is something that you have to go through.
Yes.
You can't just rush out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not genuine when you do that. And that's something I had to learn. Because you can be depressed, you can do things that will help you be happy, but then if you've not dealt with that wound of what's causing this depression, then at the end of the day, you really struggle to ever come out of it. So you have to sit with the uncomfortability of, okay, I'm depressed because maybe I lost a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Then you sit with yourself and like, what did this person mean to me? Did I like them, or did I love them because of who I was when I was with them? Or, how was this relationship in terms of who was I then? Like, what did I lose? Did I lose a part of myself, or did I lose this person?
Yeah.
So what are you mourning? Because that's the thing you have to think about, What do you
Sometimes
think?
you're probably mourning the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You think it's the person you miss, but it's what they made you feel, or it's a part of you they took with you.
Yeah.
So it's not really the person that you miss.
Yeah.
For you, when did you ever realize that having a healthy relationship with yourself is so important?
when I don't like talking about my relationship publicly, but when I entered a really intense relationship, with my partner, everything else was child's play. I'll be honest. Everything else was, you love yourself, you do all these things, read your Bible, you pray every day. Yeah. Sour. That's sour. That's perfectly fine. But then you get to a point where you're in the heat of triggers, in the heat of uncomfortable conversations, hard conversations. That is going to show you how much you love yourself based on how you treat that person in that moment.
Wow.
Are you reactive? Are you going to just crash out? Because me, I've crashed out before, and I accept it, and I acknowledge my crash outs. It's something. I mean, I'm never gonna sit here on a podcast and act like I'm better than anyone else. That's far from it.
Even me have crash outs for days.
You get me? Crash outs are normal.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it's like recovering from those things. What do you learn from your crash outs? Because you can crash out because someone is not. You don't feel seen or heard.
Yeah.
You're talking, but you're not communicating.
Yeah.
And that's an actual difference. When you talk to someone, are you talking to speak or are you talking to be heard?
Yeah.
And vice versa. When you're the one who's receiving someone that's communicating to you, are you trying to listen or are you trying to position yourself in a way that can just add on to the conversation? Because in relationships, there's a point you can't just speak for the sake of speaking when you're in a vulnerable, like we're talking about the vulnerable moments, like moments where if this conversation is leaked, I'm cooked. You get me?
Yeah.
You can't, bro. You can't, absolutely can't. So I think it comes to a place where I've become a lot more intentional when I stepped into a relationship and I was like, this actually takes a lot of awareness of my weaknesses, but then awareness of how I'm dealing with those weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's one thing to admit I have weaknesses, but then what are you doing to deal with them?
Okay. Let me ask you, this question I get a lot is, how do I know that I'm ready for a relationship or I'm just lonely?
Hey, you first answer that because you're single.
No, but how does someone know? How does someone know?
Do you think you're ready for a relationship right now?
Do I? No.
Why is that?
I think there's still just a few things that are need some working on.
Name them.
A few structures need to be put in place.
Yeah, but name them. Is it financial structures? Is it?
There's some financial structures that need to be put in place.
Why do you feel like they need to be put in place?
Not fully, but they need to be developed a lot more. You see, I've lived my life freestyle. Yeah. And I said that even the other day on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's only to this year that I said, okay, damn, Tupac, something has to change. And it's, when I took the planning of the year and the vision board thing seriously, because I've been flowing. And when you flow, sometimes you have nothing to judge yourself against. So you know that, look, you're scared to do a vision board and things like that because you're scared it's admitting failure if you don't achieve some of those things.
Right.
So this year's like, you know what, nigga, you can't succeed if you don't know what you're succeeding against. So sit down, plan, do your vision board and everything. And I did one with Brian Nyambego. Yeah. Yes, that's number one. Then also number two, I think it's become a prayer item for me more than a looking item. You get what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
It's the one because honestly, I'll be honest with you, yeah. The one thing I said is I want to take my relationship with God a lot more seriously this year, and that's something I've been working on. When I look at it is, every time I ask God for something, I've seen it come through in a way that I didn't expect. So that's how I want it to be. I want it to be like, like God, if you believe I'm ready for a person, the person will find its way. I don't want to be the one that I feel like I'm searching. So does that make sense? You look like you're gonna tell me a few things. Let's go. Let's go.
Bro, honestly, I hear you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that, like, if when God knows I'm ready for it, then He'll bring it to me. But really, what determines when you're ready for things? Like, that's something you need to deep about. Like, sometimes you can't be ready for certain things. You just have to be thrown into them. And then you realize
that's true.
What the hell you're into. Like, that to me is like, I am actually, the thing I learned about myself is I'm very spontaneous, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm very I have a carefree nature.
Yeah.
And so that comes with a lot of we don't need to plan everything to a T. Let's just throw myself in it and we figure it out. Like I planned my China trip in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually a month.
Yeah.
A month and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Usually people would take a lot
Time
more time
to do that.
to
Yeah.
plan for a trip.
Those things.
You know, and that's just I'm different like
You
that.
get what I'm saying?
So I can't tell someone to follow my path.
Yes.
Because I'm not the greatest person
plan.
to. Yeah. You see, everyone is different,
That's
and
true.
relationships are so different to everyone.
Exactly.
There's no one shoe fits everyone, and so I think I just know there's never something that makes you ever ready for it. Like there's never someone who's 100,000,000% ready.
Of course.
You know?
But I also don't think it's about being ready. I also just think it's about, see, for me, like when I've committed something to God, it happens even in ways that I don't expect it to happen, or something completely opposite happens, you know? So that's how I've approached it. Because honestly, bro, the ones I've really chased, bro, they've given me headaches. I'm tired.
Yeah, chasing is not the.
You get-
you're
yeah.
chasing. You're
So-
running. Something's running away from you.
You get, yeah. So I know like this and 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 this is what I'm looking for in a partner.
Yeah.
If they find their way, that's up to them, you know. But then I've also asked myself, number one is, am I giving what I require from someone?
Yeah.
So one of the things was last year when I was doing my plan, not a plan, but I was like, okay, I need to be in a relationship. Then I'm like, I don't want someone who goes out, but I was still going out so much. You get?
Yeah.
So it's also that
You're hypocrites.
yeah. I'm like, I don't like someone for benders, but me, I liked benders.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
Hey, it's good that you're real with yourself, you know.
Yeah, no, you have to be honest about that.
And
Yeah.
that when it happens is you can't create boundaries that you don't live by yourself.
You see?
It won't work.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's from Jay Shetty. I was listening to something and I was like, the 5 or 6 things you're asking for someone in a partner, are you them yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest determinant of readiness.
Yes. And then also, I think I'm like you, a bit like creative and whatever. So my life is a bit in chaos. So I'm looking for structures in some of those things.
Yo, be
'Cause-
careful. If you want a structured babe, she'll completely realign your life, bro.
No, but you know what I'm saying is, you don't want to bring someone into your chaos. You know, because you can handle the chaos sometimes. You know? Yeah. Maybe like there's days I'm up, there's days I'm down. You get?
Yeah.
I can handle that by myself. Is someone willing to handle that as well? You know, so
I mean, if they love you.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think? Especially now that you've even had my answer. What do you think? Because for me, I know before I was very lonely, but now I'm also so content with my time.
So the question is how do you know you're ready for a relationship or whether you're just struggling with loneliness? I think loneliness is a phase every person has to go through. Because there's this organization that's doing they were doing a social experiment and they were bringing a number of people into a room, no phones, no access to anything, just themselves for 6 to 12 minutes. And they were given the option of shocking themselves if they want to tap out.
Yeah.
So 20 the statistic was 20% of people sat through the 6 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And then 80%
Yeah.
shocked themselves.
Said,
They said, yo, take me out of here.
yeah, I'm done.
So it means people would rather feel pain
Yeah.
than sit with themselves.
Physical pain, yeah.
Then sit with themselves, like sit with their thoughts.
I've seen that study as well.
That's insane, bro. I mean, someone can fact check me. Maybe I missed the facts, but
No, but I
the
remember
principle
that,
is
yes.
many people nowadays are not they're not comfortable with sitting with their own thoughts because they're scared of what they'll find out when they sit with themselves. So the biggest sign that you're ready for a relationship is you've become so comfortable with yourself,
own company.
with your own company. And it's hard because sometimes you get so comfortable with your own company, like, hey, do I really want anyone else to come into this? So you become so conscious
stress.
and you become so guarded because
Yeah.
me, I don't want wahala.
Yeah.
Because I've become so at peace within myself. And that's a big thing that like I really recommend anyone who's on that journey of finding love. If you can't be okay with yourself, do things by yourself and be okay with not needing anyone around you to feel good, to feel like you're enough, to feel worthy. Like when you're out and you're in public, many people nowadays, like if you're in the small things, you're in the shopping line, you're doing small errands, 99% of people are on their phones.
Yeah.
Like in the hospitals, people are not like completely interacting the way people used to interact with each other back in the day. So we're living in a very whatever the word. People consume more than they spend time simply being.
Yeah.
And so this conversation is just to encourage people that whenever you feel like you can't be yourself and you're rushing to fill a void by being with other people, then you know, like people don't know, like you can still be with many people, but you're lonely. That doesn't determine like
I get what you're saying.
you're healed. But you can be alone and you're like, I'm so fine. Like I don't need anyone. And I think the world repels desperation. And I said this, and I said this earlier, but I can say it later.
Yeah.
That desperation becomes a repellent when you start loving yourself.
Okay.
So you stop becoming attracted to people who are desperate, and you start realizing there's a self love that comes with a deep level of patience within yourself.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna rush my life. I'm not gonna force interactions. Like I'm not gonna chase things. I'm not gonna chase people. If someone doesn't like me, so be it. And that's something I've become so comfortable with. Like on social media, if a video does like trash 500 views,
Yeah.
I don't really care. If it goes viral 60,000 whatever views, I don't really care. And I don't even look at the comments of people saying, "Oh, love this message."
Yeah.
I don't care because I'm not there for views and likes.
Extra value,
You know what I mean?
external validation.
I don't need that. I don't need that because when people start doing social media and content, and you start putting your worth based on the reactiveness of likes and engagement, you slowly start deteriorating your opinion of yourself. And this is something I want to say. If you say you love yourself, whose opinion weighs more, yourself or the opinion of others? Whose opinion is actually more impactful for you? Because if Tupac, you say, okay, I actually want to do this. I think it's a great idea. I want to execute this. Then other people are like, nah, you know, Tupac, this is not a good idea. Like you have opposition against your initial conviction.
Yeah.
What happens is if you start tainting your opinion and you start losing the fire you had, then it means people's opinions is heavier
Than yours.
And that means you don't fully love yourself.
Now, that's interesting. And even before we get to the social media point, I was talking to a babe the other day, and she was telling me that she hates the Nairobi dating scene. Yeah. She kept on telling me she keeps attracting this type of persons.
Which type of persons?
I can't remember what exactly she said.
Yeah.
And then I asked her actually that question is like, if you're attracting that kind of person, have you asked yourself what kind of person I am to keep attracting the same kind of a person that's not compatible to me? And it was a bit of a harsh point to say at that point, and you could understand the backlash I got from her, you know.
Oof.
And then a few days ago, she like texted me and told me, you know, I've really thought about what you said.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I needed to do some inner work because I could be the problem.
Yeah, majority of the time people are. And people don't want to admit it, you know? Yeah. That's I think kudos to her for having the awareness to realize that she needed to do that inner work. Yeah, I think that's something, bro. I think when you're not aware of your inner problems, you can see it on people's faces.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize the actions that they're doing and where it's coming from. Like I can see you're desperate for attention.
Yeah.
But you can't see it. And there's some people who, like when you listen to podcasts is people who've said certain views, like specifically about money.
Yeah.
And people in the comments like this, you know, privileged people don't see their privilege.
Yeah.
But people who have become so poor have become so comfortable with that poverty that their mindset is now what makes them see that anyone else talking about money in a way that's carefree or in a way that makes it seem like it's not a struggle doesn't understand us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. It's the truth that you'll always be bashed online for opposing, for strong views.
Yes.
People will always come at you. Like, bro, do you know the balls it takes to go online and talk about something that's controversial?
That's what you love.
And me personally, I
know you love your strong opinions too much.
I do, but when people come and say, "Oh, Muli, like I don't like you," or there's actual people who have sent me paragraphs, emails. They've sent me, so they've moved from TikTok to email. I actually need to change my number from being public because some people actually called me and sent me text. I don't really like this view that you gave.
Yeah.
Please take time to read more into this. And then there's people who also say, Muli, this is such we agree with you 100%. This opinion makes sense. People are just not seeing for that.
And what I always tell people is I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
And even an opinion you have today doesn't have to be the same opinion you have tomorrow. You know?
100%.
It can be what one knows at that time and at that point or based on certain experiences in one's life.
Yeah.
You know?
But you see, social media, there's no one who extends that understanding.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, you don't even need to be on social media if you don't know what you're talking about. You know, I mean, my own people were saying, Muli, delete this video.
Yeah.
I said, why am I deleting it? Because someone disagrees with me.
Yeah.
So am I supposed to just post whenever someone agrees with me, I keep it? And when people disagree with me, I stop?
stop, yeah.
Is it bad for my brand? No, my brand is I'll always be real. I'll always be authentic. If I say something that triggers you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not sorry. I'm not here to accommodate people's feelings. And I'm not trying to build a brand that is picture perfect, suit perfect for you, so you can be like, yes, this is someone who, you know, mom and dad listen to, this is him. No, you know, that's not me, you know?
And I like what you said, because it brings me back to, there's a point I was having a conversation with my friend, and he told me something so important, and he was like, Tupac, no one can make you feel a certain type about yourself unless you already believe that about yourself. And I was like, okay.
That's facts.
And I think even for like, after he told me that, I didn't understand it, then I still analyzed it. And for a while, that was just my reflection. Yeah. And that's what I'm actually thinking about, is if someone's saying something that's triggering to you, you need to actually maybe sometimes sit back and ask yourself, why is this triggering to me?
Yeah.
Because it's already something you've believed or something you've thought about yourself that they've just thrown salt on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's no wound and he throws salt.
There's
There's
no
nothing.
reaction.
There's no reaction.
Yeah.
How do you think social media is affecting how people see their worth these days?
Man, everything is performance based.
Yeah.
Everything is. Some people like, and I get it. The more views, the more engagement, the more of a following, the more people, the more brands you can work with, etc. I get it. Like it's an angle where I completely understand. But to me, so many people have forced a personality online that's not fully them. And this is why also for me, like when I posted certain videos, people are like, Muli, you've changed. You're not the same guy. I'm like, okay, like if you think I will be the same guy from the moment I'm alive till my last breath on earth, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone will always change.
Yeah, okay.
And people, I mean, are people who can actually, who have been so bold to say, yeah, sometimes the things you say, you're not considerate, and people express that same level of disagreement with passion towards me. But I've learned to just detach. I've learned to let it not affect me. Because if you, like again, I say, if you gain a sense of confidence and self-worth based on your social media, like it's completely going to be, it's just a ticking time bomb. Because if your inner worth is not, you've not built your inner worth to a place that is tied not to anything external. It's fully internal in the fact that, yo, I am simply a man. I have my mind is working. I'm created by God to be able to do things in this world. And my worth comes from not what I'll achieve, not my network, not my net worth, not my relationships, not my family, not my school. My internal sense of worth comes from me simply being okay with me being a man created by God.
How do you separate that from what you're actually saying? How do you separate what the world is telling us from what you're actually saying? Because what have we learned is, if you're the highest in class, you're given an award.
Yeah.
If you win a race, you're given an award. You know, people judge you, based on those external things that they see.
Dude.
But how do you move yourself from judging yourself based on that?
Yeah, it's programming, man. We've been programmed from such a young age into believing that what you do is what creates a sense of worth. Teachers ask it, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that determines whether you're important or not. It's only until recently that the creator economy has seen that in the next 5 to 10 years, let's say 5, by 2030, it'll be a trillion dollar plus industry. It's already in the billions now, but trillions. Like it's so crazy that what was once bashed as this is just useless.
Yes.
People are now seeing guys like Mr. Beast, guys who are actually like making life transforming things
online,
who didn't go to school and did the stereotypical way of what you've been told by your parents. They have made something from themselves. I think it's so important to what actually distinctifies it is God in your heart, bro. When you guard your heart and you reprogram your mind to actually sitting down and saying, okay, there's things people say about me, but is it true or is it just who I'm showing them I am? So you always have to be authentic to the version of yourself that you're showing someone. Is it truly you or is it who they are causing you to be in this moment? And that's something I've learned about myself is when I talk online, people are like, yo, this guy is so serious all the time. Then they meet me in person, like, what? Yeah, you're so easygoing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it's because I talk about things like self-love or I talk about problems that people think now this guy should always be packaged in. We ask him for the deepest questions at all times. So sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to talk.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's I've built a brand online where I talk about my thoughts.
Yeah.
So there are times where I'm offline, I'm like, nigga, please don't ask me anything. You know what I mean? Like I just want to chill and I just want to I don't even want to chat.
Yeah.
So it's like there's that aspect of who you present yourself to be is always how people will hold you at that standard. And so if you present a perfectionist brand,
Yeah.
you're cooked. You're so cooked.
Yeah.
That's why I took a moment to pause from social media.
Yeah.
When I would be talking boldly about God and my relationship,
Yeah.
God really told me, Muli, listen,
Yeah.
slow down.
Yeah.
You're growing, you're learning. It's okay to pause. You don't need everything to be on social media.
Yeah.
My relationship with you is not a relationship with you and everyone on social media. It's my relationship with you.
Yeah.
Take time to just let's build.
Yes.
And when I got that affirmation from God, I was like, gosh, you mean I was building a brand that's like setting myself up for failure, that if I do make a mistake, if someone comes out and then says, oh, Muli said this, can you believe it? People are like, you mean this guy said this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, so I'm okay with saying things that people don't agree with because I'm not trying to tickle everyone's ears all the time. That's not who I am. Even off camera, bro, I say things that
ridiculous.
And I think,
But we won't expose you.
no, don't do that.
No.
But I'm okay with making sure that I'm the same guy off and on the camera. That's the brand I want to be intentional about building.
But the other thing I also tell people is a lot of people are multifaceted. You're not born as just one person.
100%.
So you can be Muli, the guy who sits here. You can be Muli, the son, the brother, the footballer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you can be all different people within that space.
100%. I'm a complex individual, bro.
Yes.
Like I have my photos, my videos, my content.
Yeah.
I have my sports brand.
Yeah.
I have my book.
Yes.
I have my community. All these things.
And that's what I keep on telling you. You can't tie someone to being one person. There's so many roles and experiences that make that person uniquely them. There's something you really said a lot about it and God. How's the relationship with God determining the relationship with oneself?
Hey, that's a podcast in itself, bro.
Yeah. No, briefly. Just briefly.
Yeah, let me be real. Like
Maybe we can continue from there next time. But briefly, yeah.
Yo, like your relationship with God is, I think anyone who understands, I'm not here to be religious again.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious guy, far from it.
Yeah.
But I understand that God is real. And I resonate even the book of Habakkuk. He is known as the prophet who didn't do many miracles and signs and wonders. He didn't wrestle with God or was in a lion's den. But his story is he spoke to God. He spoke with God. He asked God hard conversations that people were not able to ask. That's what Habakkuk did. And then he took time to listen. So he was not known as the prophet who did crazy things.
Yeah.
But in his relationship with God, he was not doubting God's existence. He was questioning why am I not understanding your ways? I'm not understanding how you can just let, evil prevail and good people suffer and all these hard questions existentially that many people have but don't know. He was questioning whether I don't understand your ways. And he took time to let God speak to him. And that to me is the most important thing, is talk with God. Like your relationship with God doesn't have to be as complicated as pastors and prophets and bishops will tell you online. Like, fast 50 days to hear God's voice. It's a lie. It's a lie. God is within you.
Yeah.
It's just taking yourself out of the noisiness of life and taking time to listen. Like it's an important thing to schedule time within your day to listen to what you feel God is telling you, to listen to what God is saying, listen to what you're saying, to distinctify the voices within yourself. Yeah, I think when you take that posture of listening more than just speaking, because a lot of people nowadays, they say praying and fasting and all these things, but when you see their type of prayer is they're praying nonstop and they're not taking time to really hear, and you're not wiser than God.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say that God doesn't know already about?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you're looking for solutions, but you're doing it in a way that's not positioning yourself to actually receive them. So I think anyone listening to me, the relationship with God is important, but take a posture of being a simple son or daughter where you don't know anything, and you're there to sit at the feet of your father.
Listen.
And listen. That to me is how I take my relationship with God. So translating that with self is you become more aware of yourself. Like the problem with social media nowadays is the first thing you do when you wake up, you scroll.
Yeah.
So you become out of sync within yourself. What did you even dream about? What did you see at night? What did God say to you at night? Because He does speak to us in dreams and in visions and all these things. But do you have moments in your day to just pause and realize, oh, I actually had a dream and this dream was very important. And this was God speaking to me in this dream.
Yeah.
That's how Mwotaji came. That's how my book came, because I took postures of listening to myself and what my spirit was telling me. But imagine if I started consulting everyone about what I know God is telling me. I would get more confused.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. What do you think, bro?
No, I think to love yourself, you have to have a relationship with God because He's the creator of your life, And
But to those who are not religious or who even...
I think you have to believe, for every person, I think it's important to believe in something other than yourself. If your belief is you, then you'll always run into something. And I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do enough research and maybe we can find someone else who can prove us wrong. But there has to be always a belief, bigger than you. And there are those also people who believe in energies. That's a belief that's bigger than them. You get,
and it becomes their God, and that way they're subdued.
Yes. So for me, what scares me is maybe someone who doesn't believe in anything other than themselves.
Yeah. Because now they're their own God.
Yes. So once you're your own God, it's very easy to not like yourself. It's very easy to let yourself down. It's very easy for a lot of those things to happen. You get, but we could be wrong. We could be right. I don't know. But that's what, for me, I really believe and think. Yeah. What do you think are small acts of daily things you do that helps you have a better relationship with yourself?
I think I've said it throughout the pod. I'm not going to say writing because that's something I know everyone can say.
But I think everyone writes. What do you think writing does for you?
That's a good question. It opens insight and foresight.
Okay.
Because, nowadays we go to ChatGPT for answers. ChatGPT, I have this problem. Help me. It's become your God.
Yeah.
And in that, it becomes, what about the problems that I have right now that I can't get the answers immediately? How can I be okay with sitting with them? So writing helps me become more relaxed and be okay with, okay, I've mentioned that I'm struggling with this right now, but it can't be the next time I write, I'm perfect or the problem is completely solved. As much as we're men and we're driven to solve problems, what I've learned now through what writing does in my articulations is I usually sit with the uncomfortable things more than the comfortable things. In fact, how I am and how I'm learning to be, this is some of my struggles. I'll just be honest, I'll share one thing that helped me love myself more. I start noticing the good things about myself more. Yeah.
But before it was the bad things.
Before, what did I not do right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have said this. I should have done this more.
Yeah.
I should have pursued this. I should have done all the things that I have failed to do. I emphasize and I glorify.
Yeah.
But then the good things I've done, the ability to realize I'm in the wrong. That's a skill in this day and age, bro. People don't realize when they're in the wrong and then have the balls to admit it and apologize when they've wronged someone. That in itself is a skill set. That takes a lot of awareness, takes a lot of grace, takes a lot of humility. Yeah. So I've taken that posture of, okay, focus on the good.
Yeah.
The bad, it can always be, there'll always be a bad.
Yeah.
But don't dwell too much on that. Bad. And that's something I've now seen translate in how I see other
Positive
people.
Things.
Because again, you can be someone who focuses so much on the bad that all you see in other people is a bad.
That's true.
And
I saw a quote that I think even yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was just there written, imagine if we focused on the good as much as we focus on the bad.
Yeah.
How much more would your life change?
Dude, like even just online, you can do 99% of things correct.
Yeah.
0.1% of the things you do that doesn't sit well with people, you're cancelled. That's how people
Get cancelled.
cancel people, and people think people are so replaceable. There's an illusion of choice we have where we think, this person, by the way, I don't like how they chew.
Yeah.
But then everything else about them is
okay.
But this, I need to find someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like the small things, the small things that tickle us or piss us off can be talked about, solved, but then the core fundamentals.
Yeah.
Are you a good person at your heart? Like, there are people who are actually just not good people, you know? There are people who actually have no desire to see other people win. There are people who have wicked hearts where, like, they see you doing well, Tupac.
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, this guy he's consulted with doctors. His success, they start studying your success. There was a time this guy used to live with his parents.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he has a mansion. No, witchcraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we can't take that as a sign of, he's built himself, he's worked hard, etc. And now he is where he is because of that.
I like what you said, because I want to read something here I saw the other day that we wrote down. It's, a relationship is like a house. When a light bulb burns out, you don't go and buy a new house. You fix the light bulb. And, I was just asking myself, based on that quote, is how many houses have you moved into simply because a light bulb burnt? Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, how many houses have you moved into simply just because a light bulb burnt?
That's deep, bro.
So it was a bit of a crazy reflection.
Yeah.
You mentioned insecurities at the start, and how's one able, or how's one way you've been able to tell, like, this is someone doing an insecurity on me or reflecting an insecurity on me?
I've become very good at reading through that, because when you have learned to see people through the lens of your insecurity, you can quickly see when someone is projecting an insecurity on you.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'll be practical. Let's say I have the fear of abandonment. I'll project the senses, the moments where you're silent. I'll be like crashing out. Like, no. What's going on? Like, where are you? Who are you with? Why aren't you not picking up my calls?
Yeah.
Why are you not texting me?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Because I have that sense of fear that your silence is you leaving me.
Yes.
Your silence is you forgetting about me.
Okay.
Your silence is,
Yeah.
So I'm able to see this fear of abandonment is coming from your wound. It's not really about me. So address that, and then you'll be able to now then see, okay, this, for me, my insecurity, how can I sit with it without projecting it on someone? Because now you see, the moment you have that awareness that this is an insecurity that you're projecting, that's the beginning of the solution.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that awareness, there are actually people who do not have the awareness that they're projecting an insecurity on someone. And it's so scary, because that means your level of awareness is so low that you can't realize that you're a problem. And I think people like that are very dangerous to associate yourself with closely.
Yeah.
You can't build connection with people who are not connected to their inner world.
Yeah.
You can't. It's going to make you suffer.
Well.
So whenever you do have that point of, my insecurity right now is fear of trusting people. Like, I don't trust people at all. Now, what's going to happen is everything you do, I'm doubting it.
You have doubt.
Yeah. You're late for a meeting, and we agreed we were supposed to meet at 11, right? But you come at 12. And then you say, oh, sorry, bro, I just, something came up. I won't trust you again.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this person,
Yeah.
there's something off going on. And maybe you're in a partner, you're in a relationship, and you're like, where were you in those hours? We agreed this. Were you really getting ready? What was going on?
Yeah.
So you start going off in your head, and that
things.
insecurity starts now leaking on that person, and so it becomes a problem. You're like, hey, how can I deal with this? So what do you think? What about you?
I think exactly what you said is you're able to tell those things. I keep on telling one, and I think we even spoke about it the day for the podcast with Man Talk. Is the simple one is you can actually tell when there's lack of presence of a father or father figure in a girl's life.
Oh,
by how she reacts.
Yeah, Lee, don't let me get started on that, bro.
But
I also got backlash on that one, bro.
For real.
Yeah.
But you can
No,
tell.
you can. You 100 million%
You get.
can. Yeah.
So Yeah, you can always tell that, and
Yeah.
it's like something that someone hasn't healed from, because there's other people who you can't tell until they have that conversation with you, but you can tell they've done the healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In one sentence, what's one uncomfortable truth that no one prepares you for self-love?
That's deep. Uncomfortable truth that one prepares you for self-love. I would say the journey is extremely ugly.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. It's extremely ugly. Like
If you think it's flowers and glitter, whatever it is, it's messy and ugly.
100%. And even now, when you enter into relationships and you're expecting Disneyland relationships of this is my Prince Charming, and this guy he buys me flowers, he takes me out on dates, he buys me jewelry. As Tyler says, if you say you love me, you better put me in Chanel. That's how women think nowadays, bro. Like if he's not putting me in Chanel, he don't love you.
Yeah.
That's the scenario and narrative social media is presenting to women nowadays who are young. They say, yo, if this guy has nothing to give you physically, he doesn't love you.
Not the guy.
So don't think that self-love journey is going to be sunshine and roses. It's not. It's gonna be extremely ugly. It's gonna be extremely messy. But if you have the grace to see yourself through that, I mean, being on the other side of loving yourself is extremely beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. I always like to say it's like the transformation of a caterpillar.
Yeah.
I'm sure from the what is it called?
I don't remember those things.
The cocoon.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not the prettiest of experiences or journeys, but imagine at the end, what happens and how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
It's probably even just like, giving birth. I'm sure the baby thinks the womb is like the best place he'll be.
Yeah.
And then imagine coming out now to the world where I'm sure you experience a lot more than that little house of yours.
Yeah, let me ask you this question on the spot. What does now your self-love journey, how do you see life through that lens?
I think I'm going through it, but I think I've walked through now the harder part. It's now trying to walk through the beautiful part into it.
Has it made you more optimistic or realistic?
Both. Yes, realistic and optimistic. But the one thing that I'd like to say is it's also now preparing me for the next stage, which is now therapy. You get? And consistently doing therapy, because I've acknowledged the things that are my faults or my issues, but now I want to go deeper and understand what's been put on me from other generations, from your mother's side, from your father's side.
Hey, that's a whole other podcast.
You get? Exactly. Because I think a lot of people think it's just you that you're born, but you're born from all these things.
Yeah.
And every part of whatever contributes to you being born has an effect on how you love, how you see the world and things like that. So I think my next part of my journey is, Tupac, what is your beliefs and what are the beliefs that you were born with or have been put into you by other people? Yeah.
That's deep.
Finish this sentence. Someone who struggles to love themselves will dash in relationships.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
100%.
Yeah. As we wrap this podcast, any final words?
Yeah, it's always a blessing, man, to kick it with you and the podcast family, man. Yeah. This life is short. This life is extremely short. And I think whoever's listening to me, loving yourself is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Loving yourself is the best thing you can do for your future self, present self, and even your past self. That's another thing that many people don't realize, that if you're not able to heal from your past or heal from the person that you were in the past, the present will also be affected and your future will be affected.
Yeah.
But see things through the present and the future in a very optimistic, and invest in people who will show you how to love yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, our last question. So these days we've introduced something, a closing phrase.
Interesting.
And
I've not said it.
No.
Okay.
What's something that truly makes you say, just to kick it is a blessing?
Ooh. That's a good one. I would say definitely the gift of life.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, man. Yeah. Okay. The fact that I have lungs, I have breath in my lungs.
Yeah.
I'm able to see another day. I don't take it for granted.
Man, thank you so much for sharing so much knowledge. I know that there's another 3 or 4 episodes that will come out from this because there's some things we didn't get a chance to dive deep in.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate having you on the channel.
Always,
and
man.
for the wisdom you've shared, man.
Thanks, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
For those of you tuning in from home, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Just to Kick It is a Blessing podcast. Remember that no matter where you are, no matter what you go through, just to kick it is truly a blessing. Goodbye and see you next week.
Peace.
For the Lord we praise. Ooh la la, it's a brand new day. If a hater come, we are let him stay. If a demon come for the boomer, yes.